The doctors and nurses have been talking after the UK red list that put Ghana in there among some 53 other countries. Well, we spoke to some of the health professionals as to whether this is going to deter them in any way in seeking greener pastures in these countries.
Ghana, but there are certain things we are not getting. Let's say I'm a nurse, but if I'm struggling with my health, if I need medications I need to buy, if I have to go to the hospital like every other person, if I don't have my health insurance, I'll not be attended to. And Ghana Health Service, I don't know what they are doing to support us. We are not getting that support in terms of our health.
If the World Health Organization has its way, the 30-year-old senior staff nurse at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital will remain in Ghana. World Health Organization has had Ghana on a red list since 2020. Officially called the WHO Health Workforce Support and Safeguards List, it means no active recruitment is permitted from these countries, the organization said. So, the United Kingdom has obliged
a number of them saying they'll still find their way out of this country and go. Dr. David Tinkwine, General Secretary of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, is with us in the studio. Dr. Tinkwine, thank you so much for joining us and congratulations. I think it's the first time I'm speaking to you after you became your PhD.
Sure, that's great. Yeah.
Great stuff. And so this red list that Ghana is on, clearly your members are saying it's not going to stop them from leaving this country. Why?
All right. Good evening, and good evening to your cherished viewers. That is true. I mean, there's much ado about nothing.
Much ado about nothing.
I remember saying this on another platform because there are various forms of recruitment into the NHS when you go to United Kingdom. We have government-to-government negotiations that result in recruitment of healthcare workers from one country to the other. We have agency-to-government recruitment, and then individuals can apply to employers or health institutions in the United Kingdom, and they'll be employed. What they are talking about is active recruitment.
Active recruitment.
Exactly.
So that is what, the government-to-government arrangement.
Yes, and of course, an agency having to come to maybe the third world country to recruit actively for the NHS.
Which happens in this country. We see a number of agencies recruiting health professionals to the UK, to Canada, to the US.
Yes, that's correct. But as I said, majority of the nurses and midwives who are living in this country go by themselves.
Go by themselves.
I'm telling you. So I'm not sure these things can really deter them from
But obviously they need some clearance from the Ministry of Health.
Yes, they do need clearance. Not all of them, but the diploma nurses, especially those who were paid allowances of some sort whilst training, or require clearance from the ministry.
So not even a red list is going to stop you from leaving this country. So really, why are you all leaving this country when we need you that much to also take care of us?
All right, thank you very much for this question. Indeed, we are not happy that our people are leaving, and some of us are here. The reason why they are leaving is not far-fetched. We have pull and push factors, all right? And if we started sending these signals long ago, because we realized before even COVID reared its ugly head, that because of Brexit, quite a number of nurses were leaving UK. Okay, those from the Scandinavian countries and other European countries were leaving UK, and a gulf was going to be created. So we sent that signal to government that our service conditions are very poor, it's very abysmal.
Your service condition
is terrible, my brother. If I tell you,
how much is a nurse paid? Give me an average.
You see, we have various cadres of nurses. We have those who enter at the certificate level, at diploma level, and degree level. What I can tell you on authority is that those who enter at the certificate level, who do most of the activities when you go to the primary health care areas like the CHIP centers, the health centers, and the rest of it, don't take anything beyond 1,000 Ghana cedis, all right, as take home. And I'm not supposed to say this, but it's unfortunate. I bleed. If I'm sitting here as a lecturer, my salary is nothing to write home about. What about that poor young nurse? And assuming he's a male and he has a family to feed. So these are serious matters that sometimes is very disheartening to even talk about. Okay, I'm not supposed to put this out, but it's becoming quite frustrating. I don't tell you.
Well, but I understand that you have some of these allowances and perks that come with it that also makes it a lot more, cushioning than how you're putting it. So 1,000 cities take home, but you have all of these other vehicle allowances and those other things. Are they still there?
They are not there. You see, it depends on your level. If you are enrolled nurse, where are you going to get vehicle maintenance allowance? Where are you going to get fuel allowance? When we went for negotiations, we wanted all these allowances for our members. But the government,
at all the ranks?
At all the ranks.
From the lowest to the highest?
From the lowest to the highest.
Should be giving all these allowances?
At various grades, okay? If I have a dean of students, and of course, if I have a dean of my university and I'm just a lecturer, I don't expect to collect the same allowance with the person. So in case of fuel, maybe I may take about 30 gallons of fuel. She might take about 100 gallons of fuel, 50 gallons of fuel. So we wanted a certain graduated faction of a sort for them. I can tell you on authority that most of these young nurses, who constitute about 70% of the nursing and midwifery workforce, do not take any allowance at all, apart from the salary that they take. They are not qualified for car maintenance allowance. They are not qualified for fuel allowance. They don't pay them accommodation allowance, nothing. Until we came to office, let me tell you that until we came to office, no nurse or midwife in this country was entitled to any allowance. It was when we went on strike, if you remember, the last strike that we embarked upon, that was where something accrued to the senior nurses. Although we started from the lower rank, but of course, the ministry will not budge to any demands that we made. And that is what even culminated into the strike action that unfortunately happened. So these are the challenges that we have. Our people are badly treated. The conditions of service, and when I talk of conditions, it's not about salaries alone.
I see, but you see, it still comes back to, well, conditions obviously goes beyond the money that you take and some of the things that you need to work and so on.
Exactly.
But government also makes the argument it's about the ability to pay, is it not? I mean, if you go into the negotiation and you are demanding this and they tell you, well, this is how much we can pay, there has to be a balance.
Okay.
So where do you, the registered nurses and other professionals, see the balance?
There has to be a reasonable balance.
Reasonable balance?
We don't see that reasonable balance.
What do you mean by reasonable balance?
Reasonable balance is that they must take into consideration the work that we do. All right? And pay us accordingly. Of course, I know that there is no way the government of Ghana can pay commensurate salaries to nurses and midwives like how it's being paid elsewhere. I know for a fact. Okay? But at least pay that person a living wage that will enable him or her to go by. So it's extremely disheartening. My brother, if I don't tell you, I'll not be doing any good to the good people of this country. Our people are suffering, and any least opportunity they get, they will leave the country. And UK, there are several destinations that the people are going. UK is one of them.
Which other destinations?
Oh, several of them. The government, the Ministry of Health is aware. There are about 5 countries even.
So the US?
The US, Canada, Australia. Even recently, Austria and Germany.
Austria and Germany.
The countries that speak German.
I see.
Are recruiting nurses from Ghana. What UK has just brought will not solve any problem. I've told you that it will not solve it. And to me, it's just an attempt to run away from obligation.
What meaning?
Okay. By close of 2020, the UK had lost about 40,000 healthcare workers. Where are they going to fill them? They will fill them anyway, but they don't want to sit down with any government to negotiate such that whatever amount of money that is due the country will be given to them. The minister made certain submission in parliament and was saying that, oh, they're going to export nurses to UK and the UK government will pay like £1,000. What? £1,000? Does it take £1,000 to train a nurse or a midwife? What we need to do is to sit down with them. We have trained our people for our taxpayers' money.
Indeed.
If we send them there, they are spending 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. Whatever taxes that they will pay to their country should be remitted back to Ghana.
Because the taxpayers' money
Because it was the taxpayers' money that was used to train them. So if you are absorbing them now, then whatever taxes that they will pay every month should be remitted. I'm not saying that the salaries that they are paying them there should be should be paid to
Is
government.
the
That's what I'm
taxes
saying.
deducted
It's the
from their
taxes deducted
salaries?
from their salaries. That hitherto will go to the UK government. It's what should be repatriated to the country so that we can use that to retain those who are here. It's not like the money should come to the ministry for them to chop. They should give it to the nurses and midwives as retention allowance so that those who want to stay to sacrifice to serve the good people of this country can also have something to live on. That is what some of us are proposing. Not this 1,000 paltry money that the minister was talking about. But before that, I have a more pressing issue, and that's the more reason why I even drove from Koforia to get here this evening.
Tell me.
I have been told that the Minister for Health, since 1st November 2022, had placed an embargo on the clearance form.
That's the information you have.
And it is authentic information.
The nurses from your quarters who are applying to get a clearance to leave the country to go and work in Austria, Germany, UK, the US, the ministry is refusing to give them the clearance.
The ministry is refusing to sell the forms to them.
To sell the forms.
I want to choose my words very well.
So the forms are sold?
The forms are sold to them.
How much?
100 Ghana cedis. It used to be 20 Ghana cedis. Just after 2 days, they moved it to 100 Ghana cedis, to the surprise of all of us. But I'm telling you that some of these nurses travel to India, they travel to South Africa to sit for NCLEX examination. If I can buy plane ticket to go to India to write examination, just to go to United States, 100 Ghana cedis worth of clearance will not stop me from going. So the essence thereof is to find innovative and practical way to retain our people. I'm not happy the nurses are leaving.
I see. Dr. Francis Sebo is president of Ghana Medical Association. Let's bring you in. Dr. Francis Sebo, so your take on this. I'm sure you're going to be singing the same chorus, is it not?
Let me say good evening to you, and of course to your viewers. Yes, for UK, they have every right to decide who they put on the red list at any particular moment in time. And this is not the first time Ghana has found itself on that list. It usually depends on what caliber of people they need at any particular point in time. And when they think that their system is almost always full, then they would issue some of these red alerts to try and reduce the number of people coming into the country. So they've done this every now and then. This is not the first time they are doing this, and so it's not surprising that Ghana finds itself as one of the countries that has been red listed. But we need to put these things into perspective.
Okay.
The red list only serves to reduce mass recruitment by agencies. However, individuals can still apply to the various facilities within the country and still go. So it really doesn't change much. It's just that it makes the process a little bit cumbersome and difficult. But still people are able to apply on their own and then move to the UK to go and work. So for us, it's nothing new, and it's not something we are even supposed to be worried about. We are rather worried about the fact that we are losing a lot of our healthcare personnel to the UK and other developed countries. And if I tell you that a lot of our doctors are leaving, I'm sure we are aware that the medical data has indicated that sometimes within a month you can have more than 30 doctors applying for clearance to leave. The same thing with the nurses. The nurses are leaving even more than the doctors are leaving. And so it will only reduce the rate at which these health workers are leaving, but it doesn't stop it entirely because there is still a window which says that individuals can still apply and leave. And so it doesn't change much. Nothing really has changed.
But Dr. Francis, well, you're the president of Ghana Medical Association. How many doctors do you know have left this country, at least in the first quarter of the year, between January and March ending?
I don't have the figures, but if we should do a cursory assessment, if you look at what MDC is saying, that they have monthly about 30 doctors applying to leave, it means that if you put the numbers together, this probably you can multiply it by 12, it means you are losing about 120 doctors. By 3 or 4, you are losing about 120 doctors within this quarter alone. And if you extrapolate it within the year, it means a lot of doctors are leaving. So, and essentially that is what is going on.
Dr. Francebo, appreciate your time. Thank you so much. The president of the Ghana Medical Association. And to you, how many nurses, from what you do know, have left this country between January and March, at least the first quarter?
Now the process has slowed down because of the what I mentioned.
You mentioned.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah, but I will not have the figures immediately. I can
You can check.
I can check, but I think about 500 people have left. At least I personally know about 30 people who have left, and they actually told me, Dr. Tinkrai, please, I'm on my way, and that kind of thing. People who are very close to me, people I was even trying to groom and stuff like that. So the situation is that, and we need to take immediate steps. It appears as if the ministry careless. That is my problem. My frustration is that what I saw in 2001, I mean, fortunately, I've been around for some time now.
Indeed.
What I saw in between 2001 and 2008 is not what I'm seeing. Now, in 2002,
what do you want to see, finally?
President Kufuor invited us to the castle and demanded of us, what is it that we can do jointly to halt this process? It looks as if now nobody cares anymore. And I am saying that the ban placed on the sale of clearance must be lifted.
The ban must be lifted.
It must be lifted. It is illegal. It is fundamentally flawed because it's not everybody who wants to leave this country and go and work. People want to go to school. People want to leave on account of marital reunion. So if I'm a nurse and I don't owe the state and I want to travel abroad, why do you put any impediment in my way? They should find innovative way to retain the people. And the only way out is to improve the service condition. I have mentioned several things. What did we do right previously?
Right.
Don't have time.
Dr. David Tinkrai, I know you're passionate about this, and I thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you driving all the way to be here. Thank you. And then also, he is the General Secretary of the Ghana Registered Nurse and Midwife Association. And to you, Dr. Frank Sebo, President of the Ghana Medical Association, thank you as well.